Welcome to the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Join your hosts, three-time WBFF world champions and WBFF royalty, Alicia Gowans and Stephanie Ayala McHugh, as we explore all things female health, training, competing, mindset, and living the fitness life every day.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of the Queen Divas podcast, where my beautiful co-host, Stephanie Ayala McHugh, is joining me along with a guest today.
And oh my gosh, guys, let me roll out the carpets. Drum roll right now. It's not about me.
Amazing Renata Massaccesi, who is an incredible brand herself. One of the most renowned designers that we actually have inside of the WBFF and our brand. Renata, I actually was thinking about this morning when we're offline. I have been able to call you a beautiful friend now and work with you for a decade. Can you believe that? It's been 10 years already since I had my very first piece that yourself and Alex did for me. And it blows my mind when I think about that. But
I'm on the same note, Ali. I'm just right there with just on a high. We can't really stress how grateful I am for this woman, just number one, because she's just taking care of us, I think, from the design aspect, but just as a human being, this woman is so inspirational, such a hard worker, and is just such a creative, artistic, just designer. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yes. We have loved every single second of, working with you, but also seeing, for me personally, the evolution of, the evolution of your work, but more importantly, the evolution of your business, and we were just chatting about this before, and Steph was saying about how, you're a badass boss babe who has this major global enterprise now, which is true. And, you're joining us from Brazil. So this is probably a great segue, actually, because we know that you have several places to source different fabric and items and all the bits and pieces that go into making these masterpieces season in and season out. And I guess, give us a little bit of insight as to what that looks like what an average year looks like for you on the design front.
On the design front, for example, I talk to Alison on a daily basis about design, believe you or not. She has a lot to do with the designs I make, because she's always looking at, I don't do social media. I'll confess. I have my girls doing it for me because I'm not good at it. It annoys me. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of the social media part of it, because I love the design. I love designing. I love creating. I love working with people like you and like Steph that let me do my job. Right. So and then Alison comes to me with these ideas. Renata, this is trendy right now. I like this. I don't like that. She'll tell me what she likes, what she doesn't like. I'm talking with WBFF because what I've been designing the most is WBFF. Right. So what you girls don't know is that I travel, and it's true, almost the entire world, gathering materials to create those pieces you guys wear on a stage. Yeah. So the pieces you wear on a stage comes, for example, right now I'm in Brazil until Monday. I have a guy who does the Rio de Janeiro Carnival and the São Paulo Carnival. He makes those beautiful back pieces for me, like the dream catcher. Yeah, the dream catcher you wore on stage.
That was massive.
And a lot, yes, and people ask me, Renata, how can you work if that was so big? That is all framed, that's all moldable. I can make those pieces quite small to fit in your bag. That is why I travel. Yeah. That's why I look at trends. I went to Vietnam. I go to different factories. I work at a factory in Portugal. People who can give me the best bikini bottoms, the best bikini bras, fitting. I travel to shows. So, I look at my clients. I look after other girls that are not my clients, but have their piece that need help with. So because I've been with you guys, 10 years, and Alex was very gifted. And I own all I know to Alex. I have a huge admiration and gratitude to that woman, because she taught me so much with design. I had it since I was a little girl. I always been in a sewing machine. but I didn't have that kind of crazy mind that Alex did.
She was
And
really,
then
she was
she was Alex, there is no explanation for what Alex could do, and then she just would come to me and say to me, Renata, and she would rip off the designs from the mannequin and say, this is ridiculous, that's disgusting, and put it all on the floor. That was the way she taught me. That is disgusting. Oh, please throw it all on the rubbish. And I used to look at it and say, oh my God, I just finished it. She said, it's not finished. This is not even started. That was the way Alex taught me. Hardcore teaching.
That
And
is
and then
yeah.
and I feel now very, very honored, but at the same time quite sad to say that I feel like the pupil kind of overcame the teacher.
yeah.
Because I got her designs to a different level.
Yeah, 100%.
And of understanding, of fashion, of a little bit of taking more of that crazy mind and bringing to more into the what WBFF wants and what you girls want. That is how I start my process.
I think it was almost like you bridged the gap. For me personally, this is how I view it. You bridged the gap between, really unique and bold concepts to a couture, elegant transfer. Like it's just, you wrap it up in a way that looks literally almost like you could runway it, right? And I love that because it really does make you feel beautiful. Like I'll never forget the outfit, which was that bit of an Aztec-y one that you gave me for my WBFF title in 2018 in Vegas. Oh my God, Renata, that's still to this day
One of my favorites. Okay, after you just mentioned that, Ali, that was like my favorite of yours.
Never felt more like a Victoria's Secret model than I did that year. Like,
you were a Black goddess. Like you were legitimately like a god freaking woman.
And then I also sent Renata a picture the other day, which it popped up in my memories. Actually, it's me and Julia Steckner, and we're dressed in these amazing designs that Renata had done up for the Birmingham Expo. And I had this beautiful big hat, and it was this.
I remember this.
Needed to see it. It's like this gorgeous, like almost like cork-based little skirty corset, like sort of flues out like this. But it was just so beautiful and like striking, complimentary on your shape, but then really bold, big hat. It was sensational. And so I sent it to Renata and went, oh man, I loved this one. And it
but the thing is I always tell my clients, the mindset, I always refer you girls, Steph, Alicia, and people is the mindset of a winner. Okay. The mindset of a winner is Steph, for example, I will put Steph on it. Steph has never ever seen her designs before I arrived to the shows. So I ship her designs.
This is true story.
and that is true story because I feel that is important for people to know because I work with if I get volume of design, I make money. If I don't make money. So sometimes Steph is the first one to place her order. But I am not inspired to make Steph design by that time. And I'm not inspired to make her design to the end. And there is a purpose to it. It's a purpose because she never calls, she never texts, she never asks. She never cares.
Yeah.
She just do it. And it's the same with you, Alicia. You never ask what you're doing for me, what's the colors, whatever. You don't care. I just go there and I arrive with your piece and you guys are both there like fucked up your face. Like, oh my God, so many clients doing everything.
I've actually had this conversation with people where people are freaking out, right? And they're like, I haven't heard this, I haven't heard that. And this is
every time.
This is like people working with other designers. They're like, I haven't seen it, I don't know, or I haven't got it yet. And they're like 12 weeks from stage. I'm just like, why would you even have it yet? Like, Jesus Christ, you don't get it till the night before, don't you know? Because my experience is I have never, ever received my outfit until literally the night before my show. And this is how it goes. I'll always walk into a room and Renata will literally be like, Alicia, I've chosen this. And then she'll give me the rundown on the fabric, the cut. And
but I love impression of me.
Royal. She'll be like, this year we're going royal. Or she'll be going, this year we're not going to do what the young ones do. We're going to do this. She goes, we're using silk. And I just always look at her and think, you know what? I don't even care.
You know.
Like, no, you're going to have nailed the brief, and Allison's gonna freaking love it. And I just have faith that that's going to be the case. And you've never, ever once steered me wrong. I've never had an outfit I haven't loved. I've never had a costume that I didn't feel like an absolute goddess in. And just when I think you're not going to be able to do any better, you pull something out that just makes me go, wow, okay, holy crap. How did this just get better than last year? You know, it's really, really incredible how on point you stay with things. So I guess actually that leads me into a question for you. How do you stay on point of the latest trends outside of obviously having a really good advisory capacity there with Allison? How do you personally search for like the hottest trends and the things that you think are coming around the corner, or the things you think that will suit a certain season or flavor?
Well, I live in London, and it's very close to France. I travel to France. It's a weekend to France, and France is the place. I go to France, and you sit at any cafe. You see those ladies passing by, and you see the mixture of colors that you would never think that would, would go together, even me. And then when I look at that, and I think those ladies driving those Vespas, and I look at them with that scarf and everything, and I already come with that idea, and I think that's it. I go to Harrods, I go to Selfridges. Yeah. And another thing I do, I never ever, that's bad. Probably people think bad of me, but I don't follow any bikini designer. For example, I never ever go to any bikini designer website. I have never done that. And I never look at anything they do. I don't want to pause on my mind with anything else doing what they do. I want to be unique. My girls in my studio, my girls in my studio tells me like, Renata, sometimes we do things so nicely and tight, and then you come and you create this massive disco ball. They call me disco ball. And I look at it and I think, wow.
That's what we want.
Yeah, they go like, wow, and my daughter, she's a designer, she works with me. Isabella loves what she does. She's amazing. She goes like, mommy, I still don't get it. I still don't get how, your mind works, because you don't see anything. You just know. You look at that client. I look at girls' photos, for example. I ask the girls to send me their photos, front, back, and sides, to know their body types, to know if the torso is shorter, if the legs are longer, if the torso are longer, and and then I kind of come up with the idea, that will suit them, and and then we sketch the design, but I don't check anything. I don't check other people doing things. Yeah. Because I create trends, and that is true. I noticed that I didn't give myself this credit. Yeah, you do. I create, yes. I put a piece on a stage, and then next season I go back, everybody's wearing the same stuff. And I go like, wow, how did I do that? 100%. So then,
a really good indication of that is actually what I see here in Australia, because that is exactly what happens. I will see something where I'm like, yeah, wow, that's a Renata on stage.
Overseas. Oh man, she's distinctive.
Yep. Then it will be the
however, if you permit me to say that, if there is any design I admire, I don't know her name, but it's the Australia one. I do like her piece. I do like her designs. If there is anyone I admire, it's her. So I see a lot of other designers, and I go like, oh, whatever. I do. I say whatever. I can do 100 times better, but I do like her. I do like her style, and I do see like sometimes I go like, wow. That is the same kind of vision, and and you have to admire people. Otherwise, I do admire her stuff.
It's passion, right? Like you're only going to give admiration where that person's passionate and also is creative enough, just like you. Because what I noticed from you, Renata, and this is just from being a long-term client, and just the fact that you are so creative, and I don't have to tell you what I want or what to bring, because essentially, I'm the model here. You're the artist. You're the actual, designer that can bring it to life. Like if I try to be something and you bring that to life, and it may not be your vision, I just know it's not going to be your best, right? So we're going to be kind of like in between. So letting you truly take that to the next level with your creativity, I find is where you do definitely thrive. Like I see your next level creations when you don't have direction. And that's again an artist. And so I again admire that. And when it comes down, and I'll be able to see my thing where it's not getting to, it's just that I don't want to, because I don't need that extra stress. Like honestly, like me overthinking about my food and training, and now over a theme wear and bikini, stuff that I don't even need. made to do
I
about.
actually think
we in a mindset.
yeah,
Right.
We in a mindset. It's
I was gonna
taking
say-
others, letting others take control
yeah,
of
Correct.
what you cannot control. Yeah.
And
I
it's
also think-
difficult. It
Oh.
is difficult to get that, like to let go. But I mean, I trust you so much, and I would never be able to do that with anyone else that I don't know what they can create. And you are, again, someone that I do trust and knows. I do agree with how you said you look at someone, their personality, their style, their look, and being able to design something for that person, which then leads me to kind of bring up to date some of the, I guess, cool theme photo shoot stuff you've done for me. I think
Yes.
that's another thing that has just really been super unique, and how you really bring in just different pieces for photo shoots. It's just so boring to see the most standard
Oh my God.
bikinis and just, you know, regular poolside photos. And with yours, it's like it becomes bohemian, and it becomes like this super big trend. And like, you're right, you are a trend setter. People do watch you and take after
Yeah, they
you
do.
and copy you. You are the official WBFF designer. I mean, I don't blame them. But you are the official designer for a reason. You know, you have so much about, you know, evolving in, you know, that evolution within fashion. Like when we see the Met Gala, that thing changes every year, right? You see all the other things in Milan. I think you've also showed me how you do some of those Italy type of shows.
Look, and I think too, when you actually have someone that can read people and can read the brand and can read fashion as a whole, as well as Renata does, you really do feel like not seeing it prior allows you to channel it with a different and a fresh energy on the day. I don't know, but it does for me. And I think, you know, when you can step into that, and I just give over, you know, all faith that it's going to fit perfectly. And it always has. When I step into it, it's almost like you have that capacity then to be like, right, literally, as you say, Stephanie, we're here to model. And if you are at the top of your game, you really should be acting like a model. So you don't get to choose what the companies that hire you put on you on that day, but you've got to turn up and showcase that energy in a way that markets the brand appropriately. So it's literally, we're just doing that with the pieces that we get given. And, you know, it speaks volumes to Renata's creativity and, you know, skill set, but also I think it's just a sign of where we're at too in the sport, Steph. And, you know, look, speaking on that, Renata, because everyone is very
true.
Not a lot of people are as cruisy and chilled as Steph and I are. We know this. We've seen it. We've been backstage with some of these people. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they're stressful.
The question to you is, how do you balance, right, making new and creative and innovative designs when you still have people that want to have control and want to micromanage and want to be a little bit suffocating in the process? How do you manage you not being suffocated?
I do get suffocated. I do cry. I do get very frustrated. And I do get to a point sometimes that I choose now, I will no longer work with that client anymore. Because now I am in a position that I, you know, not because of money or that I got in my head or over the cloud, it's minds, is the minds that I want to have that peace of mind. And I choose not to work with some clients anymore, because I think like this. You already have, like, you know, I mean, I have a family. I have 3 children myself, you know, like, you know, they still live with me, and I run a business, and I have a life beside my business, right? So in order to work with people, like, for example, Steph is a breath of fresh air. You, Alicia, the same. I have so many lovely clients, but then along come 2 or 3 that spoils the entire thing, because they want to control everything. You know, but what happened recently with age as well, I was 49 last week, and what happened with age is a blessing. You start to understand people better, much better. That is, that you get refined. So a lot of you girls that have been with WBFF for so long, and you girls started so young, you got the swing of it. You go, you know, shit happens, let's get over it, let's go over and do it again and do it, okay? Some women come in a more mature age after having children, and they have some difficulties. They want to hide some scars, and they want to do some, and they are very uncomfortable of letting someone, because they old and I am older, they're very uncomfortable in letting someone lead in their lives or choosing for them, because they know what they want. They are in that age. They like me. They know what they want. So I don't want any designer to tell me, I want you to do this. I know what I want, right? You don't tell me, Renata, what I want to wear. I know what I want to wear. And that is what I love about it. It taught me a lot, I used to be a tough one. I think like, well done, girls. Do you know who taught me? It was Myra Ortiz. And I give it to Myra. Maya Ortiz came to me. She did the Vegas, not last year. Maya just made me cry. Maya just was a headache. Maya wanted, Maya made me cry. And I didn't want to work with Maya. I said, I'm not going to work with Maya ever again. I loved Maya. At the end, she didn't only win her first prize, pro card and everything, first place and everything. She came to me and she understood me, understood her. We loved each other because I knew then there, Myra taught me a lesson. I am a designer. Yes, you, Alicia, you, Steph, allows me to create, and you guys can be that type of model that go on stage and put whatever I make to you and make it for you and make it work. But some girls want to wear what they want to wear. And I got to understand that.
Yeah.
Because my designs are bespoke. It's not design that you have made there and someone come and choose. I'm making it for you. So if I'm making it for you, I got to make it as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And that was the biggest lesson Maya taught me. She drove me insane, but I love her now.
You saying that.
I laugh. I love
yeah.
because I know Stephanie will agree with me. We both have clients like that.
I was just going to say that. I'm like, God, there's some clients that I want to choke.
Oh my God.
I love them so hard. And it's just like, drive me insane.
Yeah, correct. 100% it happens.
But I love them crazy. I get it.
She taught me a lesson. She was paying. She said, I want what my money is paying you for, Renata. That's fine, Myra. You're going to get it. She got it. And she was a star on stage. That's it. And at the end, she told me, now I know you. Next time we work together, I let you do it. But now I know you.
Yeah, but that's also going with the same thing we were saying. We understand what you are capable of doing, and we trust you. Right. We really 100% will give it all, like all the reins to the color, the design, everything, because we trust you, but we know, what you have done in the past. And it's not just from others to have to, maybe take our word for it, but you can take our word for it, promise. She's not gonna let you down. But it's about, I agree. I think some people just don't have that trust yet. And the moment they do gain that trust, knowing that you nailed the design that they wanted to see, they relax. They're like, oh, she did it, right? And more than I expected. I will say, nothing ever seems the way it looks like in the videos. Your videos and pictures never do any piece justice.
No, I agree with that.
In person, and your jaw will drop, like legitimately. And her designs online actually are very damn good. You see them and you're like, wow, that's crazy insane. But it's still nothing like when you see it in person. And I think that's why the WBFF shows are so special, because we see such unique pieces that are very unique, to the individual. And it's because of people like you.
Actually, Renata, just talking about the individuality, right, and how unique some of these pieces are. Can you talk to a little bit how you might factor in things like, a skin tone or a cultural or a, diverse consideration when you're looking at designing something for people? Because do those things come into play for you?
It does. For example, when I was doing, when I work with Steph and Ayala, for example, Steph has that a beautiful indigenous, and I like it. That native look. She does. She has that beautiful look that is so unique to her. So whenever I look at Steph, I know any color will suit Steph. She can put any color on, earthy colors. And when I did the dream catcher for her, I had girls competing with Steph who came to me and said, "Oh, Renata, why didn't we give the dream catcher to me?" And I said, because it would not suit you, right? I said the dream catcher was Stephanie. It wasn't anyone else. The dream catcher was her. So and sometimes, believe you or not, that is true. I wake up in the middle of the night and I have this idea. I said, I'm gonna do that for that client. I just had that this week now. I had that. I wake up, I have a little book beside my bed, and I write that thought. Next morning, I work on that thought, and I think that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I talk to my guy in Brazil. He created the frames for me. That's how that dream catcher came on play. So you know, and then when I come to you, Alicia, I look at you and I think, okay, Alicia has that Marilyn Monroe, you know, the blonde hair and that petite look. I need to come out with something that will bring her beauty, bring her elegance into that stage. Because on stage, when you go on stage, you have that very unique posing that is so classy.
Yes.
It's so classy and it's so different, because if Steph comes on that stage, Steph is like, I run this world, bitch. This
I'm a
stage
Latina,
belongs to
baby.
me. Yeah. She goes, this stage belongs to me. But then comes Alicia, so grateful, thinking like, okay, let me have a con of the stage. Yeah, let me have a con of the stage and shine. Let's go on a con of the stage here and make myself seen. And you know, there is no way the judge will not look at you when you're there on that stage, because the way you move, Alicia, the way you go around, the way you know, like it's so classy, so, you know, it's elegant. And that's
elegant and classy for her. I agree.
And you know,
yes,
her vibe is all that.
I was just gonna say that's actually me just literally leaning into me. Like, that's not me trying to force anything. That's actually where and how I feel most at home. If I was to try to be bubblegum, or I was trying to be boss bitch, it'd look so wrong on me. That is definitely me. Yeah.
So my question to you,
yeah.
No, I was just going to ask, it's still kind of going on to these design stuff. Do you is there something you get inspired by besides maybe watching some of those fashion shows? Because I know we've talked about that before, that's some of your inspirations, but do you have certain maybe things you watch, or other inspirational models? Or I know you said you don't really do designers, but how do you gain some of the inspirations besides kind of going to Paris and doing people watching and whatnot?
Absolutely nothing. It's everything I create is my imagination. Believe you or not, I don't watch fashion shows. I don't watch fashion shows. I don't watch other designers. I do, like, for example, I travel, and I am now in São Paulo, Rosewood Hotel. There is an entire library of designers there. There is Vivienne Westwood, there is Alexander McQueen, Chanel books. You know, my partner just goes and drinks his whiskey somewhere, and I sit there looking at those books. Oh, wow. And those photos just stays in my mind. And then sometimes when I'm creating a design, that just comes back to me. I don't take photos of anything. I don't go and study fashion. I do like fabrics. I do look at different textures and fabric and different. I love colors. Yeah. So I'm Brazilian. So I love birds, and sometimes I want to see, like, for example, if I'm creating a feather costume, I look at birds of paradise, birds of the Amazon, and you see the colors of those birds, and you see, because if those colors go with a bird, we'll go on stage. That's something I do. I said, if there is a bird that has these two colors together, I can put it together on the stage, and I do that. That's funny, right?
I love that. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I just go like, if there is a bird that in the Amazon that has these colors together, I'm sure I can put these colors together in a bikini. Because sometimes a client comes to me and they want so many colors, and I go like, oh, that's not gonna work. And I go like, that's gonna be too much. And then I go birds of the Amazon and the colors, and I put the green at the back, and I think, and the birds in the front, and then I put some flowers, whatever is there, and I say, yeah, it works.
Okay.
And then I bring and then I get the harmony. And then I get the harmony, but not by watching other people and other shows. You know, I don't have time for TV. I'm busy. I'm always creating. I'm working. I'm a worker. When I'm not creating,
I think it limits you, right? Like, if you're looking, and I think this is true of anything. So we've talked about comparison many times on our podcast before. If you are looking to your left and right and only seeing what other people are doing, it limits your vision. Your scope of vision for your own path is limited. So in a creative space, I feel like that would actually restrict your focus, and it would give you blinkers, right? Whereas I love how you're looking for natural, native, organic, different levels of inspiration rather than human-made scenarios, because I just think that would absolutely detract from your actual capacity for creativity. That's just my view on it anyway.
Well, it makes
It's
sense.
because
Why you're also
human-made scenarios, Alicia, will give me, sorry, I'm just looking for something here in the room. Just a minute. Human-made will just make me copy. I will copy people.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes people come to me, people come to me and say to me, hey, Renata, can you please copy this for me? I saw this in a designer. I said, go back to the designer. She will copy it. I say, go back to the designer. She will copy it for you, because I believe that is very important for that designer to recreate her piece. Sorry, I'm just looking for something, because my phone was full, was 100%, now saying that is not 100% anyway. And I feel like if I give that designer.
Quick question for you. Outside of just looking at, you know, not being skewed by someone else's work, what are other challenges that you think you probably face it as a designer? What else might be something that people would not even think about when they think about, you know, your work you do? Because I think there would be many challenges in your space and supply chain and process. So, you know, maybe enlighten people on the sorts of things that you actually have to work through day to day.
I think the biggest challenge I do is pricing. It's like people don't understand the work that goes behind it.
Yeah.
They underestimate what WBFF is. I have people in the past telling me, oh, but you designed for this company that is not, you know, like, you know, what do you do? WBFF has a fashion of its own. WBFF is fashion itself. They created this niche market that it's fashion, it's beauty. You know, they do their own fashion. They inspire women. They you know, they create different women. They make, you know, some women come to WBFF and they just grow. They just flourish. They find their path. They change their lives, and they give us that platform. You know, like in for me, for example, the biggest challenge is like people understanding what WBFF is.
Yeah.
And the price of what I make, because a lot of people think that, oh, Renata, but can you do something for $200, $300? I cannot. It doesn't pay for my time.
Yeah,
the
but
materials,
also
to do it.
Think about the materials we've talked about. We've talked about it a lot, like the travel. She goes to France, she goes to Vietnam, she's going to Brazil, like she's sourcing items from all over the world. That alone is going to increase the price, right? So
the gems that
oh no, I was
the gems I use
on that. No, I was going to say how a lot of people undervalue sometimes the expertise and the already connections and the development, and knowing maybe that you are an innovator. Like when you're an innovator and you're a trendsetter, you're also, that value is going to be like, I'm going to go to Versace and say, hey, Versace, you know, make me this. And you're going to do exactly as I say and not pay you a pretty penny. I'm just saying, like, number one, because it's a very exclusive, you know, obviously designer. We're talking same as you are 100% that Versace in the WBFF. If we're really being real here, you are that.
But that's but the thing is, when you have, like, in me being a designer and loving what I do, I want to give every client the best I can, right? The best of me. And then I have, like, I work the biggest challenge, Alicia, is this: working with people you love and having to be firm with them and not giving them things for free all the time, and accepting that my work is, you know, it costs me to make, you know, the value of my work, but then loving people that, you know, I had in the past people who came to me and said, Renata, I'm famous on Instagram. If you do things for free, I will promote you. That doesn't pay my bills. Do you know what I mean? You need to get, you know, and especially when you're starting something, you know, now I look back and I think, yes, in life, when you begin, you give things away, you show, you know, what you can do, but get to a point that if you don't start charging, and I know another thing is,
listen here, people.
Oh, listen, people, listen, entrepreneurs, new people. Everyone I worked with, every single person I worked with that I gave things for free in the past, never valued me the way I was supposed to be valued. They never promoted me, in especially when people don't win. If they win, yes, your name will be shown anyway because you won, they won, and people will see how they won a Renata piece. But if they don't win, they will never thank you and they will never promote you. So and the people you charge less are the people that you give the most headache. So this is the challenge of the industry, is having that
So true.
that cross that line. When you put that line there and you don't let anyone else jump that line again. And I got to that line now. I go like, I'd rather not get the job. I'd rather say I will lose money. I could maybe make a little money there, but I'd rather not making any money, but also don't give you my design because you're not giving me anything. And life is giving and taking. Life is giving and taking, People should say nowadays, and especially nowadays, nothing comes for free. Everything costs quite a lot. We all know. We have families. So entrepreneurs, I tell you, people, when you start giving, don't give. Always charge and charge your price because people will respect you. They will value you. This is very important.
I agree so much on so many levels here because it's knowing your value. I think any entrepreneur listening to this, and it doesn't matter what business you have, it could be a coaching business, it could be an apparel line, it could be, of course, you are a designer or something, of that nature, but it's you valuing what you provide and you service, right? And when you know your value, you won't let those undermine that cost. And yes, you're going to have people maybe leave because that price might not be for them, but they don't see your value. And it's the same way. I like that analogy of like the freaking bottled water, y'all, right? I'm sure everyone has seen it. It's a bottled water can literally cost 25 cents in some places, $1 in some places, $3 in other places, up to $5 to $7 in other places, right? It's the same water. Your value changes where you go. So if you're not being valued, go elsewhere. Allow your, demographic or your market to expand to other people, because your value, if you really are worth it, you should never, ever sell yourself short. You're never selling your peace of mind. What Renata has really said here is that she values that peace of mind. She doesn't want to be in a sour place for her passion of her job. She doesn't want to sabotage what she loves to do because of the people that she's now allowed to enter into her workspace. And I find this is very important because I'm very much so the same way, that I won't take clients on that I already know, they're not going to be coachable. They're not going to listen. They're going to be a headache. You know what? They're going to actually make me babysit them and make me chase them around and, wonder what's going on with them instead of them actually committing, being accountable and, doing work. So there's so many things that you should take away from that, because I do agree with you. It's unfortunate that there is people that don't see our value, but then there's going to be so many people that do, and it makes our life not just more enjoyable, but also happy. Like, I think that's just easier, happier, less stressful. And we've talked about stress here, guys. You know what that does to you? It definitely can kill you, but it's how you react.
I also think the fact that Renata has never been a budget focused, brand is actually a good thing, because for me personally, whenever I'm looking at something, especially, say in our industry, coaching, anytime I ever see anyone offer something for free, offer services for free, or put out a post looking for an ambassador, someone to coach for free, I'm like, that's just screams desperation to me. And it just shows a different level. It's a red flag. It shows a different level of coaching being provided. Now, if you want to be getting premium level of coaching, I wouldn't be looking at that level, right? And it's the same thing as the product. If you're producing a product that is at the budget realm, then you're going to be seen as budget. And I don't think that has never been where Renata sits. So the fact that she's got a few options for people if they've got some restraints, yes, but the fact that her blueprint and where she is positioned in the marketplace is definitely not in the budget area, is exactly where she should be sitting, is in the premium space, in the elite space, and in the space that is basically the innovative, trend-setting, stylist, because that is essentially exactly what you're getting when you get the pieces. So, I agree with that. And I think if you were to go anywhere else, Renata, on the spectrum of pricing, it just wouldn't suit you. It wouldn't suit the brand, and it wouldn't suit the product that you're actually producing. So,
but the thing is, sometimes, Alicia, I am backstage and fixing bikinis that are broken from people who charge even more than I do. And I go, I ask the girls, and I travel to shows. I'm there at the hotel, and I save so many asses back, like like in hotels. Girls who buy stuff from other people that never arrive, people from Colombia who never deliver, people from, they order stuff, and I'm there. It's not the case. The case is these people charge as much as I charge, because some people come to me and say, "Oh, I never go to you because you're too expensive." I said, "How do you know my price if you never asked?" How do you know the prices? How much did you pay for your bikini? And when they tell me how much they pay, I said, my one costs less than this and wouldn't break the way yours breaking. Of course, there are stuff that, sometimes people don't know how to handle with care. They don't know how to put it on, but it's not. Sometimes I come backstage and I see these girls and I say, where did you buy this? And they tell me the price, and I get shocked. And
I've seen it.
And I said, but how
there are actually so many emerging designers at the moment. I'm seeing more and more people sort of, different random names popping up. But look, I'll say it again. You can always tell a Renata. Like that, it's just there's
it's
comparison. So it doesn't really matter who pops up. I think we can always see who's who in the zoo, right? On that note, talk to us about some of probably the biggest lessons that you've learned in your career, Renata, and the way that they might have influenced your current approach to business and design. Talk us through some of those. Like, what are probably your top 3 lessons that you've learned over the years, apart from the whole not for free? What else would there be?
The 3 biggest lessons I've learned over the years is really the first one is to learn how to understand my clients, how to understand their needs, and and understanding that I am not on prep. You guys are. So my mind,
we don't.
That is very important. That was very important. I didn't understand that. I said, oh my God, these bitches are going crazy. When you go like, I said, oh my God, what the hell was that? Where did it come from? What this question? I used to think to myself, being Latina.
And then 5 messages later, it's like, I'm sorry, I love you. I'm sorry for what I said. I totally
go like, oh.
I was hungry.
I said, why is she asking me this? I said, is she really asking me this question? And then, but anyway, second, I think the most, the lesson I've learned is understand what the brand wants.
Yeah.
What WBFF wants from me in terms of, online, not only as a designer, but as a part of their family, because WBFF is a family. That loyalty, that being present, that deliver. I think one of the main thing is not giving Paul and Alison any headache. It's like, I deliver. I make, like some girls, Renata is taking too long. I work by clients. So you came late, you're going to receive it, but, I deliver. To be honest, I traveled to shows. I traveled to do one show in Atlantic City in 24 hours because one design didn't arrive. And this client was ready to go on stage. So I created an entire new design and I flew from one day to be there with a new design for her to go on stage.
Wow.
That is the commitments that, that I had.
That's a lot.
And I think, and the third one is really it's really with me, how to keep up with everything, how to keep up with the trends, how to keep up with the change, how to create trends, how to be ahead of it all, how to make sure that, my clients are happy and that I always innovate, that I always bring something that has never been seen. And, that is the third one. So I'm always after something that has never been seen, but out of here, not out of copying anything. Yeah. I'm always thinking, what haven't I done yet?
I said, I've loved your evolution into the gowns now, because I can tell you some of these gown designs are next level. Like, wow. Where do you get this stuff from? Like, and how different is it preparing a gown to a bikini? Just maybe so you can explain it too, so that anyone that is ordering can understand perhaps the differences in the value of those two products, because they're very different. And obviously one has a hell of a lot more fabric as well. But
Right.
talk us
Well, what
through
has more stones though?
Yeah.
Because now I'm curious, what is more
Correct.
difficult? Is it the dress or is it, I would think the stoning, but I mean, what do I know? I don't know crap.
So the gown is the transition of, because there is a difference between costume and theme wear, girls.
Yeah.
A lot of girls comes to me and they go like, Renata, I want to be a badass, Batman on stage. But that's not what WBFF wants. WBFF wants fashion.
Yep.
So the gown idea is my transition. I'm transitioning from, from like costume, Batman, dragon, vampire, or Spider-Man, to couture design. Right? I'm trying to bring it in slowly into the thing. So showing, because I spoke to Alison about it, and Alison is really lovely because I need to mention this. I have a huge gratitude for Alison and Paul for all these years since Alex was working with them and Alex left. And I've studied fashion. I did fashion. I used to sew and do things since I was a little girl, but I never studied fashion. I worked with autistic kids and children on a spectrum and disadvantaged kids who didn't have any home. So that was my job. I did my foundation degree to work with children with special needs. Yeah. And that's what I did. But even though in the classroom working with those kids, my mind was always designing. My mind, like when we had art, that was my mind there. I would create like Barbie dresses from cardboard boxes, stuff like that with these kids. for motor skills. And and then when and then Alison and Paul, they allowed me to expand my dreaming to, they gave me the platform, the WBFF platform. And talking to Alison all the time, she always wants to bring more fashion into it rather than costumey kind of, part of it. So the gowns came with me working as well with another designer whose the name is Renata as well. She's also Brazilian and she's extremely talented. I have never seen anyone the way she can make 3-4 gowns in one day. The talent is just insane. And I tell her,
double Renata. Yeah. I'm like, wait, right now, did you just tell me there's 2 Renatas and then there's a double Renata?
But the thing is, when you see the detail and the complexity of these gowns, it's like, how the hell does anyone do more than? How the hell does someone do those in a day? Let alone 3.
It's Renata, so it's the other Renata. So the other Renata. Yeah, that is the other Renata. The other Renata, she is a big part of it all. She does the bikini bottoms for me, but the other Renata worked with me since she was in Brazil. She's been working with me for 8 years now, 9 years now. She now lives in Portugal. I think of a gown. I design this gown. I send it to her. She makes it. Wow. And I give her bulletin and I give her stress. So she makes these gowns, send it to me, and then I create on top of these gowns. And then I do the stones, I do the feathers, I do the whole creation on top of it. And she do you know when to like kind of you and Steph, do you know when we get each other?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just send her a text and I say, no, I don't like that gown, damage it all, forget it. I want it like this, like this, like this. And it's in a fraction of 2 hours, she sent the whole thing ready-made. Wow. She said, I got it.
Wow. That's amazing. And you guys understand each other.
And I want to, so this show now in Vegas, unfortunately, you two, my divas, not going to be wearing my pieces this time, but next year for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
For next year, it's gonna be even more refined. So this year you're gonna see a lot of more like cultural designer rather than costume on the stage.
Yeah, very nice.
So actually, Renata, I might reach out to you to do me a gown for the show. That is going to allow me a little bit of a potential
wiggle room,
little potential
room
there.
Yes.
I can't wait to see
with a matching suit for my little boy.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah.
And look,
George,
I think that we've hit the nail on the head a couple of times in this conversation, though, and I think we're really showcasing it, how much of a family the WBFF honestly, genuinely, truly is. And Renata, for me, you've been part of this family and part of my family now for 10 years.
Like a second mom for me.
But it shows, though, when we're at a show and Renata and her daughter are looking after my little, what was then 8-month-old, while we went and had dinner with Steph and Kerry.
I know.
After an event, you know, and this is just a prime example, because I would never have left my child with anyone, really. I only trusted Renata, and I also trusted Rachel, you know, who works in the beauty services team, because she's amazing too. But that's it. Like, for me, that's a good sign of family. And it's just another indication of what you get into when you become part of this brand, right? I'm super, super grateful for you. I can't say enough.
It is. And you girls, for example, I always see, you know, like I speak to Steph, like Steph and I, for example, people think Steph and I never text, so we never do it, you know, but you guys are always in my heart. So whenever I reach out, I get a reply, you know, maybe a day later, or maybe I text another day later, because we all lead busy lives, you know, and we all have our own issues, because people see our glories, but never our problems, you know, our struggle. And, you know, when we do have them, but, you know, all the time we meet and we sit together has been pleasurable, has been a joy. And there is like, I need to mention Toby here, Toby Harrison, because there's not even one time I sit with Toby that I don't have a heart laugh, you know.
And you know, he's another really super creative eye. And what I love about Toby is that Toby can literally look at something and go, you know, something like this would look great, and you can communicate that. Or he can look at like what Renata's working on and just be like, that's going to be mad. Like, he's just got, again, another incredible eye, but is another long-standing piece of the furniture inside this brand that is just
he is. And I love the fact that sometimes you look at things and tell me that looks shit, and it's my design in front of me. Oh, that like look like a shower curtain, and I go like that, and it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't. Do you know the reason? Because it comes from Toby. It doesn't. You know, I just look at him and I think, yeah, thanks, Toby.
Because he's not being offensive. He's actually giving you critical feedback, right? It's blunt, and it's
he doesn't even know it's mine or not. Sometimes he doesn't even know if it's mine or not. He's just being Toby. He's just being himself. And I love that. I love that. You know, I love that.
When we get that kind of, and I agree. I love whenever we kind of have like a very good relationship in that aspect, where they can joke with you and you can really kind of get a little, like, I don't know, edgy little kind of attitude. I like that too, because I think that also, a little bit more lighthearted.
I have these random right now, typical Toby sayings just rolling on repeat in my head. I'll never forget. You'll be in the audience and he'll be watching something and all you hear is, wow.
Yeah. He says it.
Does not necessarily mean something.
He says it as it is. And I go like, whatever. But you know, but that is what Paul is the same. Paul is the same. Paul cutthroat. He just go and say it straight. You know, Alison is very polite and lovely about things, but you know, like as we said, as we are family, they get to a point that she would tell me, I didn't like that design, Renata. I didn't like this. I like this. I like that. And I think when we talk about family, we need to mention the fact that with the WBFF, a lot of things happen. There's a lot of people gossiping or people saying this. There is politics here, politics there. I judge quite a lot of, you know, shows. And there's no politics. You know, if you look good on the day, you win, right? You win. If you don't look good, you look second best, you're going to get second best.
Yeah.
But another thing that I give it to all of us who have been there from day one for a very long time, is the fact that we go through phases, we go through thick and thins together, but then, you know, but it's all good. We understand each other. You know, we understand that we are mature women going through life, and there will be days that we will disagree, things that we say about things about each other, maybe that people don't like. But at the end, we know we love each other. We know we have each other's back, you know, and that is a family business. That is WBFF. Paul has everyone's back. Paul has everyone's back. And I love that about him. Paul, and he has, you know, he go, no, but you know, yeah, maybe they did that, but they have this quality.
He's really good like that.
He's really like that, you know, and that is, we need to take our hat for people like that. You know, oh, but you know, yeah, but you know, he said that, he did that at that show, but doesn't matter. But he's a big heart person, you know. He always, oh, but she said that. It doesn't matter, but she does this, you know, she's good at that. And this is family, because I have 3 kids, they sit in my head.
It's a constructive
like, oh
criticism. I think we all take constructive criticism really well with the
100%.
family. You know, we of course want to call each other out to better ourselves, to better the person next to you, right? Like that's what this is all about. I think within even just the brand is we all elevate each other. We all, you know, of course, motivate each other to be better and to continue improving in all of our businesses and our crafts, whether if that is, you know, improving our physique or improving just our day-to-day life. You know, I think that it's such a unanimous team effort we all have to do within the brand for all of this to work too. It comes from the designer, from, you know, of course, the CEO and president, and of course, even the coaches and even just who shows up at the events. I think it's just a big reminder that when you are at a show, anyone listening, if you're a competitor, if you know, of course, are an aspiring competitor of the WBFF, this is a family-oriented event and brand. No matter where you are in the world, it's always going to be a very welcoming, warm, you know, type of environment, very positive. And doesn't matter if you are by yourself or with the coach or without one, it's just about knowing that you are going to have support. And please feel free to always, you know, you can always reach out to Allie and I. But Renata is also someone else that if you ever really just had a little more questions, I think people kind of forget that, of course, she is the one setting up the designs. Actually, Allie and I, we're just probably leading you to her at some point.
Pretty much.
Coming to us. We're just funneling you over to Renata to talk to her in regards to maybe these designs and, you know, maybe picking your show.
I think, you know, something that I would love to touch on at the end here, because we are obviously channeling people through to you, Renata, but I'd love to hear you maybe talk a little bit at the forefront here. What are some of the things you're recognizing or seeing, and what do you think is going to change in the landscape moving forward? What's the future for the fashion in, say, the next 12 or 18 months? What sorts of things are you vibing or feeling like is going to change?
You said no more costumes and more couture. So how does that, I guess, look?
So that, number one.
Yeah.
Anything else? And is there anything where you go, we can't do this, people, don't do this, people, because Allison hates it? Anything else like that?
Those are some good
Don't
tips.
do wings and don't do wings anymore, please.
Really? Okay.
Don't do wings anymore. Don't do wings anymore, because you know it's just like it's done. It's done. It's done. It has gone. Bring something else. Something else into it. Costume doesn't need to be big, doesn't need to be expensive. It needs to be fashion. It needs to have a fashion factor to it, you know, and that's what I want to go now. I don't want to make things too expensive. I want to still bring fashion to it, but, you know, forget about those massive wings. Maybe once in a while we create something with wings, but then we bring the wings. It's not like, you know, any wings. You know, don't bring those little skirt around your back that you shake around on top of your proper bikini. And, you know, and if there is one advice, you know, girls, don't take me wrong what I'm going to say now. Please don't, because it's very important. Are you there?
Yeah.
A lot of you have a lot of clients, right? Your clients can go to anyone. They don't get, you know, like, how we say, they don't, Paul and Alison don't take points from them to going, you know, from going to another, to going from another design to another designer. However, you guys come to me, right? Your clients know who makes your designs. Your clients should know where to go because they want to win.
Yeah.
And when your clients win, you win. Because your clients your client looks the best. And I have been a judge that clients who looked absolutely amazing body-wise, brought the most atrocious costume, lost for the girl who was second, because the girl second had the best costume or had the best bikini. So what I say is, always make sure that the girls, before going to one designer, check others.
Yeah.
Talk to others, have their feel about the design, because WBFF is changing. And it's getting a bit more, it's getting refined in terms of like design. Fashion is going to become a bit more of a, of course, I always tell Alison, if a girl wants to bring that dream of being a superhero on stage, let's make it a beautiful superhero on stage. But it's not what they want. They want fashion.
Get you.
Less is more. Less is more. Don't have the bikini with, covering all your body. The bikini, you should wear the bikini. The bikini should not wear you.
Yeah.
You should wear your costume. The costume should not wear your body. Your body should still be seen. And don't have that idea that when you come with a theme wear, that theme wear needs to be naked. The theme wear needs to be the show to see.
Yeah.
They already have judged your body.
I get that remark all the time. They're like, oh my God, but it's covering my abs. My theme wear is covering my legs. It's covering this. And it's like, but you're not supposed to be worrying about your physique in this round. You're really supposed to be wearing your theme and being that, channeling whatever the vibe is of that theme wear. So I agree. It's about, of course, showing the physique as much as it would be making sure the design and the piece is for you.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes, and then make sure that you don't let that thing, stop you from having a stunning piece just because you want to show your body again. Yeah. Your body has been judged. Now your theme wear gonna set you on that stage again and say, wow. Because sometimes if you do a piece that when the judge set their eyes on that piece, they cannot take their eyes off that piece. They go like, wow. That will set you far apart of all the other girls. Like Alicia, the piece you wore that year, Steffi, your dream catcher, there was no way that piece will not be seen.
Exactly.
There was no,
Remember the one Remember the one you guys had for me, which was made out of all the paper plates, and you had to put it on me backstage because I
remember this one.
We couldn't fit through the door. So you had to take it in sideways. You then had to sew it on me backstage. It was a big full muscle skirt. And I had to sit backstage for 2 or 3 rounds in between my 2 categories because we couldn't get out of it. So they had to sew me in backstage and cut me out of it before I left the backstage because we couldn't get into it. I love that.
I have good photos of that one. That one was funny.
It's a good one. And that's just another example of where it was so unique and it was so bold and it was so different and it was so Victorian era for a London stage. Yeah. It fit so beautifully that you couldn't stop watching it. And it wasn't the most revealing, and I was full corseted. It was not that showed my whole body, but it showed my body well still, and it was just gorgeous on stage. So
it's a good example of a I guess fuller theme that covered you.
Yes,
that year you went on with mine, which is funny you're saying about feathers, because this is a good, I guess, kind of piggyback there, Ali, on that same year. She made me that World Traveler where literally
the London one
set, like the London Traveler, right? Where it was just a corset. I'm not just, but this corset was a bedazzled corset. But guys,
massive bow.
Anything. And it was a bow. It was a massive bow that instead of feathers, she definitely, I know myself, if I would have had any say, I probably would have requested some feathers, or something like that. Because that is probably the most common thing that I think everyone does want to do at the beginning, right? So that is a great just feedback and I guess just overall advice for people to listen here, that it doesn't have to be even massive. That one was a pretty cool massive bow, but it wasn't feathers, and she made that into something very unique and with this badass little purse and stuff.
It was a very cool outfit. We both really English Britishy style themes that year. They were just outstanding and very unique. So I think
what Alison wants to do now that we've spoken recently, she wants to make a runaway with my designs first thing on stage. So she said, everyone that is wearing your design is gonna come on stage before, just do a quick runaway so people can see what WBFF designer can do. So instead of getting all the design mixture and lost in the middle of all the others, She said, I want to do a runaway and I want a name of every designer, like British Traveler, you know, the tea room, like you're always the tea lady,
So,
you know, this type. So I will name every designer from now on and showcase those designers again.
So it's almost
that's
gonna be like
awesome.
it's almost going to be like what we did at Birmingham, but to open the world.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. That's actually going to be an amazing part of the show, because my favorite part of ever watching any show is being able to watch the bikini designs, the theme wears and the gowns. I mean, honestly, this is the best part about watching a WFF show, besides the amazing physiques and beautiful, you know, different type of human beauty. It's just the fashion component, the glamour and the glitz and all the stones and just amazing type of designs that you see up there. So Renata, I cannot wait to see what you're creating for Worlds that's coming up, and even this LA show that is coming up next for us before Worlds. So, thank you so much for being able to bring, you know, so much knowledge and some of that inside passion you carry within your business and within the WBFF. I appreciate you more than you know. I mean, you are like, literally, I always call you my angel, because you are God sent. You are always someone that watches out for me, and not just on stage, but off stage. And I appreciate you, because you are like my second mom, and I just love you and adore you so much. So again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast with us, Ali. I know she's been
I'm so glad we were able to make it work. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and you know, look, it was very important to me to have you on, because I think that you are just the absolute quintessential you know,
the real deal,
the epitome of fashion and of design for me. And I think I wanted the world to hear what we see and know of you. What I've known for a decade is just how purely talented and passionate and driven you are about this space. There just is no one better. And I just love you as a human. So, you know, I'm honored that you came on. I'm delighted that everyone's getting to see a little bit of the Renata that we know and love. And I'm super excited to hear, you know, people have some amazing experiences with you in the future. I cannot wait to see you next month. I'm coming over. I'm spending some time in Wimbledon, and I will be spending some time with you and the fans.
I am jealous.
I'm jealous.
I'll see you next week, Renata. I'll see her in LA. Okay, I'll see her in a couple of days.
I want to thank you both for having me here and for giving me the opportunity to talk. I mean, it doesn't look like I'm very shy. I don't, you know, I don't do this stuff. I should talk more, because then people will understand more. I should do it, but I thank you both, and you guys have been gems to work with. You know, from day one, you guys have been absolutely amazing. The respect, the love, the consideration, the trust that you guys put in me, it says it all. Says because you guys win, right? So you guys just go there and win. And
you make it shine, Renata. I mean, it
goes. Yeah, it goes. You know, it's it just goes to show that, you know, the trust works.
It does,
and you know. It works. And I just want, you know, whenever people, I can say this is going to be funny, but it's true. If people, you know, say, oh, it's too late, it's Renata, unless I die, you're going to have your design.
Knock on wood.
You get that design.
Dying women. And don't scare me again, by the way.
And I have my mini me. My daughter Isabella, she's as passionate as I am. She's as driven as I am. She gets the design. Sometimes I get to my studio and I think, my God, because she's been working with me since she was 14. 14 years old. She went through everything. So she's she's becoming more refined.
She's your mini you. Yeah. She's watched her mom her whole life, and she's also taking after you. And she clearly is, you know, of course, following in the footsteps, and maybe going to be the reason why you are able to maybe retire and leave it to her, right?
Exactly. And also, she's younger. She's only 24. She loves design. She loves fashion. She loves you. And what I love that she loves you, girl. She loves my clients, and you know, she loves all of you. She's making a design. She comes to the studio. I have my staff, Maria, Rika. Rika is just a blessing in our life. And then Rika is just everything in that studio. And then, you know, Isabella comes say, oh, I don't think that client will like that because I know this client well, and I don't think that will go with that client. And then that's Isabella.
That's awesome.
And then Rika now goes like, and I ask Rika, do you think that I, Renata, really don't like it? They tell me they don't like what I'm doing. That's
That's good. That's a good relationship.
You got a team.
So I have a good team. So we all there to give WBFF contestants and you girls the best and your clients the best. So whoever comes to us, you know, they will get the best of us because that's our aim, really, to give you girls the best. I thank you so much.
I love that. Well, we love you, and thank you so much for coming on, Renata. I'm sure everyone listening to this is gonna have learned an absolute mountain of new information. And I'm sure
if you don't follow her already, please make sure you give them your handle, right? Like, so make sure, in case they don't already follow you on Instagram, if they can find you anywhere, or even your website, whatever you want them to be able to reach you out at. What would
Perfect,
be
my lovely. You are my babes.
What is your website, Renata?
What is your handle so they can see your Instagram, and then what is the website so then they can head out and reach out to you?
The website is designersboutique.com with a K. It's not the boutique as it is because I couldn't find the domain as that. But I think now we're changing it now. And then my Instagram is Renata Massaccesi _ Fab Costume.
Love it. Amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, go and give her a follow.
Thank you so much, girls.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Renata.
you so much.
Hey, we love
Thank you.
We'll
Spread
see
my
you
love
girls
to
soon.
Crystal, Georges, and Carrie. Love you.
I sure will.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. See you
Bye.
next time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Queen Divas, Queens of Fitness podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Queen Divas Pod, on Twitter at Queen Divas 4, and follow our hosts on Instagram, Alicia at Alicia Gowans _WBFF Pro, and Steph at Stephanie Ayala 7. See you all next week.